Hey, you guys! I hope you're all doing well. I'm gonna do something fun and special today. I really want to introduce you more to who Ipaygus, the Rock Man, is. So I'm going to be channeling him today. I've made some videos over the last couple of weeks to introduce some really beautiful developments taking place in my life, and this theme of healing a broken heart, this theme of any aspects of yourself where you have dimmed that light bulb, to go back through your identity and to brighten those parts of yourself up again, because it's you who is bright, right? And it's the you when you dim yourself. What is it that you're resisting? What is it that you're pushing away? And we got to bring the light, we got to turn the light back on. I've had so many neat experiences, and I'm trying to sort of compile them into some fun videos where I can just talk and share. I've had some neat experiences with Star Guy, and some neat ones with Ipaygus too, and it just feels like channeling Ipaygus today would be a really beautiful experience for all of us. Last night I had a very surreal type of experience, and that's quite common. I used to have a lot more of these a few years ago, and then a lot like for years and years and years prior. I shut a lot of stuff down for a few years, especially any type of visitors in the night. I didn't want to deal with that because I was going through very difficult learning. And so I just wanted to come back to what it is like to be a normal person without visitors in the night, just to be a normal human being. But I really cut off a lot of beautiful connections by doing that. So I'm turning the light bulb back on, right? So last night, Ipaygus came to visit me in the night, and his energy was just absolutely so unbelievably amazing. You cannot pretend it. You can't make it up. You don't just wake up in the night and there's just this warm, absolutely melt-worthy blanket of love just wrapped around you, and you're just tingling and you're just like almost in tears because it is so absolutely beautiful. You can't just do that. You can't just pretend it's there. You actually are living in a moment of a surreal love that is wrapped around you, and it was so breathtaking. And I knew it was Ipaygus. I knew because you have energy signatures. We all have an energy signature. Every single soul has its own energetic identity. We have a name as human beings. Well, your soul has an energy signature. So Ipaygus has an energy signature. So when I feel that energy signature, I know that it's Ipaygus. I know that it's Cryon. I know that it's Star Guy. I know who it is. I know that it's Archangel Michael. I know that it's, I know based on the energy signature, my soul recognizes. And sometimes there's no name to identify. So like Star Guy, I was like, what's your name, Star Guy? Well, I guess I'll just call you Star Guy, because sometimes you just don't get names, so you just make a name. It's just like, what am I going to name this new adorable little pet? How about Fluffball, because you're kind of fluffy, like that's kind of what you do sometimes. So you just create a name and you just go with it, right? So Star Guy is like, obviously my name for him is Star Guy because he got a big star on his third eye. All right, so it's like that fluffy dog. I'm going to name you Fluffball because you're fluffy, Okay, so in the night, I woke up and this beautiful, beautiful sort of blanket of love was wrapped around me. And I was like, oh, wow, I'm so happy. Ipaygus, that you came to visit me, and this makes me so happy. And he was speaking to me, and sometimes communication, psychic communication, it's not, he's talking to me in a dialogue in my head. No, there's no communication in my head going on here. It's all a feelings-based experience. And so in that feelings-based experience, he was talking to me about something very, very special. And it has to do with planetary relationships with planets. This is something I still don't fully have a language to define it. So this is going to be me kind of with a stuttering effect, trying to make sense of how to explain to you what the communication was, because it's so fresh and so new. I still don't know how to translate it fully, and that's very normal when it comes to interdimensional being communication. I can't always figure out what they're trying to say right away. Sometimes it takes a week or so of regular communication for me to start to process it, or sometimes it's really loud and clear. Anyway, I was translating this information inside of my heart, and my heart said, I know what you're talking about. And then it took Ipaygus. I had an inspiration inside of myself to take Ipaygus to a location. I, Abbey, have no idea what this is about. But my deeper essence had an instinctive knowing of what this was about. And I took Ipaygus to this location, and it was like inside of a planet was the only way I could describe it. Do I believe that there's like a hollow earth? I'm not going to say anything related to that. But in this experience, I went into the inside of a planet. It is an energetic universe, so I believe you can go energetically into any single planet that you want to go into, and you could live there if you wanted to. I actually see people who are depressed living inside of the planet. I mean, I see stuff like this. You got to grow those flowers not into the ground, but we need to grow those people, the depressed people. We need to help push those flowers back up and out of planet Earth. So there's different ways that we energetically interact with planets and stars in the universe. And we have no freaking clue that we're doing it as human beings, because we live in a very logical world and we don't get to use our absolutely amazing infinite senses. We need to use our cut and dry black and white senses. So I took Ipaygus to my heart's inspiration, and it was the inside of a planet, and it was full of rainbow colors. I mean, and it was so dazzling. It was like being inside of a kaleidoscope. And I told Ipaygus, I know this place, and I want to take you here. That was my response to whatever it was he was saying. And I took him here. It was so, Abbey was like in awe of this place I seem to know about, and Ipaygus, just like the energetic volume of love just amped up so loud, and it was just like, so cool! Wow! Like, it was so cool. It was so exciting. It was so full of love, and it was making me feel so melty and good inside. And so we just like had this moment in this colorful planet, and he told me something about, I don't like terminologies like I'm a starseed, I'm a this, I'm a that. Like, I don't want to be categorized. I just want to be an infinite being. I want to be all that I am. I don't want to be just this, or just that. I want to be all that I am. So I don't like to use these labels, but he was identifying something about calling me a seed, and identifying me as a seed that has been some very special information encoded into the seed that I am, and I was seeded into planet Earth with this information, and that I am carrying some very, 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 very important awareness. And it's interrelated to this place that I took Ipaygus, because he too is a seed. He too is a seed, and his seed is choosing to be seeded as this identity that he is, which is really extraordinary and different and surreal. I don't know of anybody quite like Ipaygus. He's like a one-of-a-kind thing. Before I get into channeling him, I wanted to tell you guys one more quick perspective. And this is really warming my heart. I hope you don't mind all the chit-chat, but I happened to watch the movie, The Little Prince. And so this is a movie, it's like a rendition where they use the story of The Little Prince, which I love the story of The Little Prince, because I studied French. I don't speak French, just so you know, but I studied French for like years, and I suck at it. So, but one of the things that we had to do was, we read The Little Prince book when I was in high school, and I freaking fell in love with it. So I love this story so much. It was like such a surreal thing. It even brought tears to my eyes and made my heart like move, and it was so neat. I loved the Little Prince story. And there's a movie that came out just like a couple years ago, and it uses the Little Prince, this story, and it inputs it into a new twist. And it's so well done. It was so well done. It's on Netflix right now. You should check it out if you can. But they sort of showcase a black and white world, a world where we want everything to be based on perfection and perfect rules. And if we can fit into those rules, if we can do everything right, then we are, worth material. Like we're essential human beings. We're worthwhile kind of people. And there's like a life plan that this mother creates for her daughter. and the daughter has to go through this life plan, and as long as she does everything according to the exact time and the exact expectations, and if she gets it all right, then she is a good person. She's going to grow up to be a wonderful adult. And so I love this story so much because it intermixes with the Little Prince, and the Little Prince is so imaginative. And so exploring things from a childlike perspective, the inner child perspective, and such a spiritual story. Such a spiritual story. Anyway, there's a part about the little prince and the fox. And the fox, the little prince wants to play with the fox, and the fox says, well, you have to tame me. And then we can know each other. And it's on a really special level. I mean, the fox says, to you, I'm just one of 100,000 foxes. There's nothing that makes me more special than 100,000 foxes. But if you tame me, then I will be unique. I will be unique. And then there's something about, and vice versa. You are just one boy and 100,000 boys. There's nothing makes you different than any other boy. But, if you tame me and I become unique, you become unique to me. And that's what friendship is all about. And now we are the most special ones of our kind to each other. And that's what Ipaygus is to me, because in a way, when I first met Ipaygus, he scared the living daylights out of me. I didn't know what to make of him, and he tamed me in a way. And I found that he is so unique. I don't know if I'm helping you to understand the meaning of him in my life, but he means a lot to me. I'll probably cry because he means a lot to me, and I'm really thankful for him. All right, so I'm just gonna say that, and I'm gonna relax here, and then I'm going to connect with Ipaygus. So I'm just relaxing my spiritual atmosphere some more, and everything is very peaceful and feels infinite, energetically infinite. And it feels like a breath that sort of inhales but never exhales, because it is such an infinite breath. It never reaches a point where it ever has to exhale. And that's what time is like here for Ipaygus. And I am in an infinite breath. And it's black everywhere. And he asked me if I know what it feels like to live in the dark. In the infinite breath, he asks me this. I say I know it all too well. I feel emotional because I haven't talked to him in this way in so long. And now that I'm channeling him or journeying to him in this way, there's something very special about this communication, and I want to share it. Everything is so still. And he's allowing me to enter into his world so that I can see life through his eyes, through his experience. He sees this as an essential part of the communication, because I'm choosing to share this as well with others so they too can see through his eyes. And as Ipaygus, I look for a very long time across the horizon in stillness. And I feel an infinite waiting. I feel like I'm waiting for a very long time. But there's such an experience of stillness in this infinite breath that the inspiration to move is not necessary. That I could sit in this position for 1,000,000 years and still be in that first breath of life. He shows me that his identity is all internal, that he lives internally, but he also lives externally as well. I will say that as deep and even sad as this may be, that in this language to communicate Ipaygus' experience, he is so bright. He is so full of love, unbelievable love, unfathomable love, and patience. But he wants me to continue to focus on what he is resonating to me and share the message based on what he's resonating to me. So I'm in the stillness of an everlasting time. And this inspiration to move is not necessary. So I am as still as a tree. I'm as still as a mountain. And I just simply am in stillness, and I wait is what it is like. But the need to move again is not necessary. And I'm within myself. I'm within myself all the time. And he asks me, what is it that I discover within myself, Abbey? And I say, you discover creation within yourself. In my view, in my vision of what it looks like, he is very hard as a rock on the outside, but he is soft, very soft on the inside, very soft on the inside. And then in this soft space, like a chewing bubble gum, I mean, it's really soft. There is all of this color going on, all like fireworks of color going on inside of himself. And he smiles and he hopes you can understand why movement is not necessary. And in these colors and these fireworks, it's so bright and so beautiful. There is so much creativity and creation going on within himself. And he echoes to me a question that I asked, that what makes me so special that you would want to spend your time talking to me. And he wants me to look for myself within him. He's talking to me about another perplexing thought that I had. And I had asked, why didn't you go find someone else? I mean, there's so many souls, so many amazing souls. Why did you linger? If I were to push you away for a time, why would you wait for me to come back? Or why were you still trying to connect with me? Why didn't you just accept that I made a choice and to go find yourself through the interactions with others? And he's talking about, this gets even more complex. It's sort of like a movie scene where there's a critical moment and you could either save this one person that you love so much or potentially risk the massacre of 100,000 people. But you choose to risk it to save this one and to save 100,000 people. And I told the universe that I am not worth it. Save 100,000 people. I'm okay dying and moving on. The universe says, what if you are worth it? And I don't know how to see myself as worth it. And that is the point. So, we're in this moment here. Because Ipaygus sees me as worth it. And I've told the universe that if I was in that place, I would, I will be honest, I will make sure 100,000 people are saved. I would do that because that's just how I feel about that, because I would not have a need. I would be actually so happy to move on. Don't risk 100,000 lives over me. I'm happy to move on. So because of how I feel about that, I would also treat this one in this way. But perhaps I wouldn't. I can't tell because I don't have any memory, any past life moment. I don't have a situation where I would be in this situation where I would value someone in such a way that I couldn't let go, or that I wouldn't understand that love lasts forever, or that I would behave in that way. So there's a moment's pause because Ipaygus is processing the conversation here. He says, what if everyone was worth saving? And if you don't choose to see it that way, then this world will be left one less. One less beautiful seed. He's talking about how our world we don't see each other, every single one of us, as so precious. And we oftentimes see each other as annoyances. And we push more and more and more of the rest of the world away as we wither into our dark places. But we feel at peace as long as we have a cell phone, as long as we have a TV show or a YouTube channel. And we forget how precious each and every person is. I'm talking to Ipaygus about certain types of people who have not learned gratitude, have not learned honesty on a level where they are willing to admit when they are wrong. They would persecute the rest of the world and watch humanity burn, if only to save themselves. And I struggle to see how precious this seed is to this planet if it is so self-destructive. He shows me that part of the challenge with the human race is we don't work together to help each other, and we oftentimes are left as individuals. And he shows me a gladiator arena where we have to fight each other to the death, and there's only one winner. And the only way to truly win is to see this one die or become extinguished or go away forever. And in those types of situations, that's not the evolution or the ascension of the human race. He says instead, love needs to come out of the bleachers, out of the rafters, out of the visitors section, out of the, it needs to come down into the gladiator arena, and both of these two. Without, we agree with you, we don't agree with you. We agree with you, we don't agree with you, because there's always going to be two sides. There's always going to be a war that has two sides, and who will ever be truly right? So therefore, these two both need love and both need support, and we need to let go of who is right and who is wrong. Simply let go. What can we do to help you both find balance in your life today? And that is the way forward for the human race. that now the human race can see how precious each seed is here on this planet. And he calls all of us seeds. I am a seed and you are a seed. We are all seeds. And he says in that way, we are all star seeds. Every soul is a star seed. Every single soul is a star seed. So he says the best way for me, Abbey, to have an infinite identity is to simply admit or acknowledge that I am part of the star. I am a star seed, but we all are star seeds. So there's not one person on the planet that isn't a star seed. We're all star seeds. Where do we come from, if not from the stars? And what are we if we are not the stars themselves? We are all star seeds. He cries on the inside when he sees our planet and how we struggle each and every day with these conditions. So many systems in place to try to create balance when it's all about war. It's always all about war. Who gets, who doesn't get. Who ends up winning in the end. Who ends up losing needs to disappear forever. Go away. How do we sort through our differences if there's so much pain and no support? And he says support isn't just one friend or one family member. Support is the community. Support is the government. Support is everybody. The family of the community, the family of the people. So there's another message here. Just a moment. He is not moving. He is still in the same spot, sitting peacefully, exploring everything that is within himself. And he is honored to be a part of every star seed in the universe, including Abbey, including you. He is a part of you too. He's a part of every star seed. And he says about the ones that persecute, that would burn everybody to save themselves, he's a part of that one too. And that one needs hugs. Just like the one who would stand up for what is right also needs a hug. Who does not need a hug? He is showing me something very important for me to do, and I am to enter into this scene in two-dimensional ways. One is he is going to take the part of the dying one, and I must risk everything to save this one's life, plus basically the entire human race. So either I can let this one die and we know for sure the entire human race will live, or I could risk the entire human race over this one person that I love very much. And he says, it echoes, which would you choose? And he wants me to choose to save him. And it has nothing to do with my awareness of how life goes on. It's simply to choose to save someone because you love them. That's all it is. And I also have to take the role of the one dying, and I have to allow Ipaygus to go risk all the lives of the entire human race to save me, and I have to accept that. He shows me that it is much harder for me to be the one saved at the sake of everybody else's life. It's almost turmoil. It is like torture. It is the most horrible thing that you could possibly do, is to risk the lives of the entire human race to save me. And it's actually easy for me to let Ipaygus die to save the entire human race, because I seem to know in my soul that I'm at peace with that choice. But I have to change this for my own learning, for my own personal experience of this idea, my relationship with this idea. So I'm going to go through this simulation, and let's do it together. Let's all pretend Ipaygus is here and the whole human race is on the line. And we have to go do we might even die in the process of taking this crazy risk to save Ipaygus in order to save the whole human and save the whole human race. That we're going to do this, okay? He says, wait a second. Where's the whole human race at? Why is it, Abbey, you never thought of asking the whole human race to help you with this extraordinary task? He says, this is human thinking today. This is human thinking today. Human thinking is that I have to do it all by myself when you have an entire human race. He says that's the riddle. And now I'm going to be dying on the ground. And Ipaygus is going to inspire the human race, to find a way to inspire the human race to band together, to work together. Let's save the human race and Abbey. We can do it together. That's what he says. He is still not moved. He is still in the same place, much like a mountain. We'll never see the mountain move in our lifetime, but perhaps over the course of 1,000,000 years, 1,000,000,000 years, you would see that mountain grow and recede, be born and die. Ipaygus is like this. So that's the message. Wow. That's all I'm going to say. That was pretty neat, wasn't it? Well, I want to thank you all for joining in on this experience with me. There's some really powerful learning and perspectives. And I'm still a little loopy because that was really intense. But if any of you are ever interested in working with me one-on-one for a psychic session, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I want to thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful day.